All right, so we're going to be subtracting these two very large numbers, and these numbers might look familiar from the addition problem that I did in the adding whole numbers video. So we're going to check our work with subtraction, okay? And when it's presented to you like this, we want to make sure we stack those place values on top of each other vertically. And we want to make sure we start with a larger number and subtract a smaller number because we don't want to go into negatives. So I'm going to line up these place values. Like so. Subtraction and then my equal symbol here. And I want to start in the furthest right place value, the smallest place value here. Since I can't take 9 away from 3, I like to call this bigger bottom, better borrow. So I'm going to borrow from this 3, which is really like 30. So I'm going to take away a 10 from this 3 and make it a 2. And then add a 10 to this 3, making it a 13. Now I can take 9 away from 13, which is 4. And then 0 away from 2, which is 2. I can take 4 away from 5 because 4 is smaller than 5, so 5 minus 4 gives me 1. Bring down that comma. Can't take 8 away from 4. And since I can't borrow from this 0, I have to borrow from this 2. So I change this 2 into a 1. My 0 becomes a 10, but I have to borrow from it again for this 4. So then I borrow from my 10 and make it a 9. And then I can change the 4 into a 14. So now that it's 14, I can take 14 minus 8, which gives me 6. And 9 take away 2 gives me 7. And 1 minus 1 is just 0, and I don't have to write that 0 there. So it's 76,124, which actually lines up with our problem earlier in adding whole numbers video. Okay. So here is a subtraction problem where there is a bunch of borrowing that would have to happen because all these 9s are bigger than these 0s, so we would have to do a lot of borrowing here. But a quick trick is to take these two numbers and add 1. Add 1. So then this number changes to 2,000. And this number is 56,001. And if we subtract, we'll get the same answer. Okay, so if I subtract here, 1 minus 0 is 1, 0, 0, 4, and 5. Okay, and you'll see here if I did this same problem, I would get the same answer. So if I borrowed from my 6, I would have to change it to a 5. This becomes 10, borrow again, and it's 9. This is 10, borrow again, and it's 9. And then this is 10. 10 minus 9 is 1, 0, 0, 4, and 5. And you can see that it's the same answer. So this is a quick trick to use if you have a bunch of 9s and a bunch of 0s and you don't want to have to do a bunch of borrowing.